This is when 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.
Hi everyone. Hi corporate people. Hi 9 to 5ers. Welcome to the After 5 Diaries, the podcast where corporate life meets real life. You know, the podcast where we talk about 9 to 5 in its entirety and everything that happens in 9 to 5. My name is Funa and I'm glad to be back with you guys. Well, today my topic is about HR stories. We're going to discuss the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to give you tales from the corporate crypt. And my guest today is someone who has made an entire career out of translating and portraying 9 to 5 characters, has turned it into comedy. Right? Or maybe he started off with that and from then he transitions to the other things. He's a TV host, he's an event host, he is a content creator, and he's also an actor. And if you've ever found yourself laughing at a 9 to 5 skits and you throw your head backwards and you said, oh God, this is too accurate, that's probably him. Everybody help me welcome Jay on air to the board.
Thank you. Hello, 95ers. Love that introduction. Well done.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, your skits are usually portrayals of 9 to 5 corporate life, everything in between. I want to know, you can't beat the allegation. How much of that is an experience that you've lived, or how much of that is comedy? Just tell me, run me through. Have you been in 9 to 5 before?
Of course I have. I've been in 9 to 5. In fact, I just left a sort of 9 to 5 last year. People don't believe that.
For real?
Yes. People used to ask me why you... So well, it's a radio job. It was a radio job. And I did that Monday to Friday, at least for the last 5 years. But before that, I'd worked in the corporate sector. I've been a personal assistant, an executive assistant. I've been a communications executive. I've done a lot of things. So definitely comes from the experience that I've had in this space, and that's why I'm intrigued by it. Now, every skit is not based off personal experience. Obviously I read things, I'm on social media, I'm intrigued about people's stories when it comes to how they work in different sectors, and so I translate that into content. But again, I think the interest started from me trying to retell my experiences in the corporate sector. And so that's why people that I've worked with in the past say, oh, that's not me. I'm like, if you did the bad thing, then it's you. So yeah, it's definitely personal experience, but also recreations of people's experiences around Nigeria and around the world, really.
Oh God, they're too accurate. So I said, Jay must be on my phone.
Thank you so much.
Because really 9 to 5, you portray everything. See truth in what you do. And the way you just copy, it's so accurate. Jay, I need to talk about how fast you are.
Yeah.
This morning I watched your skit about the match yesterday. Jay, when do you get to shoot? How fast are you? How do you work with people? Just tell me, run me through.
I mean, when I started, of course, I didn't used to work with people. I was a one-man, army, right? But now I definitely have a fantastic team. I have my creative assistant, I have my personal assistant, I have my social media person. So I definitely have a larger team now that helps to make things happen, But I mean, they're able to make things happen for me now because of what they met. I was doing it all on my own. Wow. Obviously, it was tasking. But, as one grows and as you get more opportunities, you want to be able to have the strength. I didn't want to burn out. And for me not to burn out, I needed to employ people, to help me do other things. My assistant is backstage, behind the scenes, doing a fantastic job. So that's just it. But I think that one of the things that sets me apart is, being fast, being quick with it. I'm a trained journalist. Yes, I'm a journalist. I went to school to read journalism, mass communication. And one of the things that we know is that news has to be current. And so that is the side I'm putting into my skits. We have thousands of content creators. You have to do something that
something that makes
stands you out. And for me, I have many things that stand me out, but that's also one of the many things.
How fast?
Because I always like those comments. Because if you check the video I dropped this morning, the comment section, people are still trying to figure me out. I'm like, I've been making content for like 6 years, and you people are still and it's beautiful. That when did you shoot? Did you know Nigeria was going to lose against Morocco? I'm like, I didn't know, but I'm in the news, as well. So yeah.
You were really prepared for it, and the video just dropped.
Yeah.
It just dropped, and I said, Jake, really? I'm glad I'm speaking to you today.
I'm glad I'm here.
Okay, so most of your skits are mostly HR portrayals.
Yeah.
Like, what is it about HR?
Yeah.
I want to know your experience. Was it a bad one? I need to know. Just tell me.
Yeah.
You know the whole cliche about HR is not your friend.
Oh.
You know the one with the police as well. Police is not your friend. It's all
Yeah.
about HR.
Yeah.
So I just want you to let me know about your HR portrayal. Was there an experience you had with HR that you always portraying them in your skits? Tell me.
To be honest, I've never had a good experience with human resources.
Oh.
Even though I know I have people that work in human resources and are fantastic at their job. But personally, I've like the three I've worked with, I've not been great. And so that was the initial reason to show the wickedness in human resources. And it just built a fan base where everywhere I go to, people are always trying to introduce me to their HR people. I'm HR, I'm not wicked. I'm HR, I'm not wicked. So I think that it now goes to show that human resource people have a job to play. I mean, you are employed there, to take care of the people that are there. You are building the work culture. Yes, you're employed by the people on top. That's why you hear women say, "Oh, I was assaulted by my boss." The thing you're supposed to do next is to report to human resources. We say, no, be your guy, employer. That's not how things are supposed to work. You are supposed, if you have human resources, they are supposed to do their job, and people should trust that what they are telling HR is not. You can't be HR and being a gossip. It reminds me of when I was in secondary school. I had a guidance counselor who would counsel people and be telling principal and teachers your gist. I'm like, Nigeria, we have a lot of. I'm thinking about it now, I'm stressed, and so imagine you are a child in secondary school, you are going through whatever you're going through. You think that you should go to your counselor's office, and then your teacher is calling you. You are not serious. So Ms. Abiola told me, I called her name. Ms. Abiola, do better. Tell me that I hope you are doing better now. So that's not how it's supposed to be. In fact, this is an exclusive. I don't know when this is going to be out. I'm actually having a conference for people in HR.
Interesting.
This year, first quarter of the year.
Give me more details on that.
I'll give you more details. People in HR, but it's not just for human resource people. People in the workspace.
9 to 5.
Yeah, 9 to 5 generally. It's going to be a 2-day festival.
Trust me, I'll be there.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Yes, it's going to be amazing. Trust me.
Okay. Thank you, Jade. One question for you.
Okay.
I know you just talked about the bad side of HR. HR, is not always bad.
Yeah.
There are still the good ones.
Yeah.
Do you have like a good HR story that you want to put out there? HR, they are not entirely bad. I know my topic is good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the good side of HR. Some of them are indeed,
Yeah.
they live up to the word human resources.
Yeah.
You want to share?
I think it would definitely be from the last job I was at, and I spent 5 years. I'm still in partnership with them. That's 88.5 UFM. I'm owned by Ultima, and it wasn't the HR person there. When the HR person left, somebody took over for her, and she was doing her job plus the human resource job.
Yeah.
And just reaching out to people. Oh, I heard that you are lagging behind at work. What's going on? Is something happening at home? I'm telling you how she is. Her name is Marian, and Azudu. Shout out to her. She'll ask you.
I know that last name.
You should.
I think I know the person.
Yes, the husband works on in sports.
Yeah, I know that
yes.
Yeah.
They are both icons, by the way.
Yeah.
So she would ask you what's going on. We are quick to, if you have a staff that has been working hard for a long time and putting in their best feet or best foot or whatever, and all of a sudden the person is not giving you their best energy, you should be able to reach out, as opposed to say, you are not serious with your work, be serious. So that's a Nigerian thing. You should call the person, which is what Marian would do, and sit you down and ask you. That is human resources. Because what people forget to know is that if people that are working with you are good, if they are comfortable, if they are healthy, if their mind is sound, they give you their best. I always quote this. Anytime I get to talk about HR, I talk about this series, Scandal, Kerry Washington.
Yes, I've seen
that. There was a time that, she wasn't making any money. She had a staff of 5, and she told them, you guys, no money again. You guys should leave, and they still stayed. So it got me, because people, when you watch film with an elderly man like me, we always look for lessons. So I was like, why would people that your boss has told you, I don't have money to pay you,
and you're still sticking around?
That shows you the kind of environment she had built. She wasn't just concerned about them doing their jobs. She was concerned about their personal lives. Oh, I heard your wife gave birth. What's happening? How are you running a company? Your staff gave birth. You're not giving them money. You're not sending them a message. You're not saying, how are you? How is your wife? How's your child? Oh, I heard your son was sick. What's going on? that is human resources.
Yeah.
That kind of person will wake up 2 a.m. to send an email. That kind of person will wake up 4 a.m. to say, you know what, I need to
The
get to.
extra mile.
We'll go the extra mile. That's why you hear the general language now is like, well, it's not my father's company.
Yeah.
But if you treat people like they matter in the system, they will treat your work like it matters.
Absolutely.
You know, at the end of the day. So shout out to Mariana and Azudo. That's just one of the many examples where she will ask you what is going on. She'll reach out to you on your birthday. If there is a miscommunication in the office, she's asking you, she's involved.
Yeah.
And I feel like you cannot work in human resources without having genuine empathy.
Yeah.
In Nigeria is a country where you find someone that is a teacher. I'm a teacher because I know still work. I work in the bank because I know that's not what I wanted to do, but this is what I found to do. But for human resources, if you decide that that's a path you want to follow,
Yeah.
you have to be kind. You have to have empathy. You have to know how to show sympathy as well.
Yeah.
If you don't have all of that, then maybe do something else.
Okay. I know some HR in some companies, they portray themselves as demigods.
Yeah.
Like, this is who they are. Once they say something, it's final. I do have something from LinkedIn that I want to read out.
Okay.
So let's quickly talk on that.
The After 5 Diaries.
I was in an interview today with a 4-man panel, and none of them had their cameras turned on for reasons best known to them. I was interviewed by every single person on the panel, and not at any point did any of them turn on their cameras. I don't know the logic behind this, and I just want HR to tell HR professionals that communication is a two-way street. It helps to see the face of the person I'm speaking to, and vice versa. It's unprofessional to ask an interviewee to turn on their cameras when yours is completely off. It sends a signal. When we're not at work, we're regular people, and as such, we should act accordingly. Even if I've seen your face, I'm not going to stalk you on LinkedIn. I'll either get the job or not. Don't ask me to turn on my camera if you're not going to do the same. Otherwise, schedule a physical interview. What can we say about this?
Agreed. And I think that you should already be weary.
Yeah.
That is a company that leadership is by example.
Mm-hmm.
So how will you tell me to turn on my camera? Again, I have to go back to Marianne.
Yeah.
Because we used to have lots of meetings. I mean, weekly, bi-weekly. And then at the beginning of the meeting, she always says, for the first 30 minutes, I want to see everybody's face. And as she's saying that her camera is on, whether she's in the kitchen,
Your meetings are virtual.
Yes, some meetings that will be virtual.
Yeah.
And then our camera will be on. So for the first 30 minutes, everybody's camera has to be on. But everybody will turn on their camera because the person that asked us to turn on our camera, our camera is on. So how would you say you want to bring somebody to a company and you are saying turn on what?
I don't even know what
you are clearly unserious.
Yeah.
And there are those people that will say they'll give you 5 to 10 works at the job description for 100K.
Exactly.
You understand? You are the cleaner, you are the HR, you are the boss, 100K. You understand? And you be coming every day, by it's crazy.
So your 9 to 5 contents, they usually go viral because a lot of people can relate to it. They see very accurate. This is it. So how much of 9 to 5 people message you personally, or maybe come to your DM to say, you're exposing us, so you're doing that? Do HR people come to you to say, what happened? Could you run me through that?
I mean, all the time, not just HR people, I make content even that is beyond the corporate sector.
Yeah.
Beyond 95. And people in the different sectors always reach out to me, whether people that, are social media managers, people that own their companies, entrepreneurs, people in human resources. They always reach out. They say, you tell me this. For the first few days, at least for the first 1 week in January, I wanted to put out content because I needed to rest and just relax because I was churning out content almost every day last year. So, and I'd never taken a break off social media. So I said, you know what, I need at least 1 week. And by the time I came back to a lot of DMs. Jay, it's the beginning of the year.
Give us something.
You need to give us those content. People resuming work. Jay, we're waiting for you.
Yeah,
people will even go as far as sharing their experiences with me. Oh, Jay, this happened to me. In case you want to recreate it, it will be nice. Oh, this happened. And so it's just a community that we've built to show people, people make different kinds of content. There was a time that just making mother content was the in thing.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted to be an African mother, and people could relate to that because a lot of our African mothers, whether you are Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, there are certain things that make them similar. And I think that people were not really paying attention to the corporate sector. But if you check the percentage, we have, a high percentage of people across the world that work in
Corporate, nine to
in
five.
corporate 95. Some of the biggest companies, some of the smallest companies. And so they just needed to be seen. People need to see, people need to know that somebody sees them. Today I just shared a post from the gym and I said, how are you doing today? Or how is work going? I haven't finished my character. So I just used him to ask my female people, how
I
is
love that.
how is it going? People were already sharing, Jay, it's not
Yeah.
yet 12 yet. I'm exhausted. Oh, Jay, I can't wait to see my bed.
Yeah.
And the way life is set up, and content for me is just letting people know that I see you. People want to be seen, in their different lives. People feel, a lot of times people feel that their lives are small. I work in a bank. I live on the mainland in Solere. My office is in VI. I maybe go to church on Sundays. My life seems small.
Yeah.
And when you see your small life, in quotes, of which I
Portrayed
don't think your
somewhere.
life is small, portrayed on social media, going viral, and seeing that your small life, a lot of people can relate to. By the way, I'm using small in context, not that your life is small.
Yeah.
You can see that your life, that a lot of people can relate to that. People can relate to conductor running away with their change and they were going to work. Yesterday I saw a video that I'm still going to recreate of a guy in his corporate shirt trying to throw hands with an agbero. And somebody said, this man, imagine you are going and you see your supervisor fighting with agbero. But these are things that we see every day. People can relate to that. And when you just show it online, it just touches people. I feel like if you're having a very tough day and it's maybe you're on break, you just want to eat your lunch, and then
your content.
yes, that can just give you that ease. You know what? This Jay is crazy. It saw my life today.
Exactly.
That can be the energy you need to go back into your day. So yes.
So
That's it for
accurate.
me.
Why do you think I brought you here? So accurate, Jay. I've been watching your content online. I said Jay must be on the Outer Five Diaries
Thank you
board,
so
and
much.
here you are.
Here I am.
Okay. Let's talk about your TV hosting, your acting,
Yeah.
your event hosting.
Yeah.
I call you jack of all. You do everything.
I try.
Sometimes I wonder how you do it. Like all the time you have something you put out there. So I want to know how much of your corporate life shaped you as a creative. Do you want to run me through that?
I think my corporate life definitely shaped me. Like I said, I have a team now. I have a management team. I have my core team. I also have, a radio and YouTube show, something like this, and I have a different team for that. And so it's to an extent a somewhat large team, right? And so working in corporate has trained me on how to handle situations, because if you are working with me, you also get an employment letter. If you are working with me, you also get your job description. You don't just say, oh, yeah, I'm a content creator, I'm an assistant for a content creator. When you come into, because you see me work, I take my job like a 9 to 5. I told you last year, I almost put out videos almost every single day. That is aside, whether I'm working with a brand, that is aside my radio show, that is aside doing things on TV, aside hosting events, aside being in 1 or 2 movies by the side, so it requires a certain level of structure, because I'm not building for now, I'm building for the future. I'm building I call it my media empire. And so that people can come in there young and old and learn and thrive. And you need to have a sense of structure. And I learned that in corporate. And I always advise people, if you can, I know we are in a new generation now where you can blow up on social media just by doing whatever. It was even Cardi B that said something. Cardi B said, she's making a lot of money now, but she wishes that she went to school to learn about business. Because if she had learned, she would not be paying a business manager so much money.
She'll be doing that.
Exactly. And even if you are paying somebody, they can still cheat you. So you still have to still be reading. ChatGPT, this thing that this man says, is it true? At the end of the day, so knowledge is definitely power. And I think that I am powerful because I'm knowledgeable. And that knowledge came from working 9 to 5s, not getting paid salaries on time. Working with HR people that were mean, working with some people that were good, working with a boss that timelines and deliverables and KPIs, that language, I still use it in my day-to-day life, even till today. So because I was owed salaries a lot, I don't know why. At some point, I thought they were costing me for like 10 years. Everywhere I walked, whether it was radio, whether it was...
You were winning salary.
Yeah, it was a lot. And so one thing I said is when I leave this stage of my life and I have my own thing, I would never owe people salaries. And one thing I always say is that businesses always go through tough times. But it is crazy to me that you have HR and the HR cannot communicate with people that this is what is
This is what's
happening.
going on.
You know, how are you owing somebody's salary and nobody's talking?
And nobody's saying anything.
Nobody saying anything, and people are going to work. That is wild. That is just in America. A lot of these companies would have been sued. You and your HR go
They
day
will sue
jail
you.
plus HR plus CEO. You go day prison. So it's crazy to me, and those are things that I learned, and I don't want to trans. So even if I don't make as much or a month wasn't as great as it was, I will find the money to pay my staff because they did their job.
Exactly.
You know, that's just how my mind works. You
It's
know, and
ideal.
yes, the ideal thing to do.
Yeah.
God give us grace to, you know,
To continue, keep at it.
Yeah.
So let's get back to HR. What's which of the phrases of HR, like, you know, they have a lot of phrases in 9 to 5. They have a lot of cliche. Let's take this offline. Let's get this running. Meet me in my office. Several cliches. So which one of those phrases that they use feels your contents, that maybe one or two and you say, oh God, I must use this, because 9 to 5 people will definitely relate. Which of those phrases that HR uses that you know?
I mean, everybody can relate to kindly find attached. You know,
Yeah, of course.
People always say, "Oh, I don't want to find attached anything," but let's take this offline. It's such a huge thing. You know, when you are fighting a virtual meeting, you know, and things are getting heated, you think, you know what, for me, let's take this offline. It feels like you guys want to just meet me outside. Let's know who is who. So that definitely is one that you will definitely hear a lot going forward in my videos, in my skits, and all of that. And just general corporate lingo. I'm just intrigued by general corporate lingo, not just in human resources. When people hear it, they can relate to that. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to ask you which of your HR or 9 to 5 skits blew up the most. I know my favorite. My favorite is the one that someone comes in late. And you have several stories to give. They they flank the stories. And you know why I always laugh at that? Because I see myself in that. When I'm running late to work, I always have something to say. That's your favorite skit, or my favorite skit of you.
Thank you.
So which one of your skits blew up the most? That you got all the comments in 9 to 5. I'm talking about 9 to 5.
Interesting.
Which one?
I think a lot of them blew up, but anyone that involves my wicked Madam HR, people can relate to it. So I think that one, that because I make a lot of videos, man. So sometimes I remember people show me, people tell me, oh, this video. I'm like, oh yes, but I'm not thinking about it. When did I shoot that video? But anyway, I think anyone that involves Madam HR, number one, are black lipstick. So the black lipstick stands for evil. For those that are asking me, that's why it's black like that, not red. And the wig.
The wig and the
I always remember anytime I see Auntie Akindele, or maybe she comments in the comments, she's always, Jay, this wig, I don't want to see this wig. So the wig has become iconic. If I hair brands reach out to say, oh, we want to change your wig, you can't change that wig. I'm sorry. Because that's how they know the woman is wicked by their bad wig. But when I think about one that they can relate to, I think last year when towards the end of the year, so it was time for companies to give out rice and oil. So HR was already upset. That's why they're giving these people rice and oil. So she entered. Management has approved that people should take rice and oil, but people don't even deserve it. What did you do? You came late. So a lot of people could relate to that. They're saying, the comments section, like, after you don't charge finish, send my rice, bring my oil, all this thing, And then at the end of the day, after she has insulted everybody, she'll not say, and I'm the one that still fought for you people. They didn't want to give it. Nah, lie. Because I've seen human resource person like that will say, give me gist, so that I can know how to fight for you in the office. It's a lie. They will use it against you, Don't give any gist.
We'll get there. Jay, I have a funny question to ask you. How do you source your outfits?
I always get that question.
Who gives you outfits?
I mean, like I said, I've been shooting this type of content now. I've been in the media space for, say, about 10 years.
Yeah.
But this type of content, I've been shooting for like 5-6 years. This year will make it 6 years. So obviously I started using my mom's outfits and then transitioned to, some of those outfits becoming mine, because my mom will be like, I wore this outfit somewhere. Somebody said they saw my cloth in size Kate. I'm not wearing this cloth again. Please don't touch my expensive clothes. And so from there, I just started building my own wardrobe. Because again, it's like I said, this is business. So when people come, if you come to my house now, I have my store. there's a store for my outfits,
Yeah.
that is just my outfits,
For your
for
skills.
my skits. So I can always run
And I
in
just
there.
noticed you don't repeat any of them.
I mean, I try. I do repeat them. You have to know how to mix and match. If you follow the skits, once you put pig like that, you leave it for another 1 month.
And
You
nobody
mix
will
it.
notice that
Exactly.
it's
I mean, people
more.
in the corporate sector tonight, it's the same thing. Now. You can wear the same
Exactly.
dress, change the shoe.
Change the shoes,
Once
the
you
bags, the
once you do
hair.
ponytail to the side like this, do to the side like this. Don't wear glasses today. Wear lipstick today. Don't wear
Yeah.
lipstick today. So yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
And people often say that they even get fashion inspiration from some of the
From
videos.
you.
Yes.
Really?
I'm like, I don't know what people are wearing in your
I don't
if I'm inspiring you. But yeah, I get it.
I get it too. Let's talk more on HR.
Yeah.
HR is the reason we're here. So HR is not your friend.
Mm,
That's a cliche that or the phrase that people use in 9 to 5 most of the time. Do you agree with this? Because I know there are good HR.
mm,
Or do you advise anyone to make HR their confidant? Like you have issues in your office, you have problems with your boss, your line manager, you go to HR to talk about it and report and all of that. I'm going to read a story after this question. Talk me through HR being your friend. I want to hear more on that.
So I think that for HR to be your friend, HR has to show that they're your friend.
Yeah.
There was a time that the police was trying to rebrand and they were saying police is your friend. So any police station you go to, you see it, everywhere. But the policemen did not follow through that
With
PR
the whole
with
PR
action.
thing.
If they actually showed up as people's friends, nobody says police is your friend anymore. It died a natural death.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they probably employed a PR company to give them that name and to help them with rebranding. Those people have collected their money.
Yeah.
But you people PR is surface. PR without actually doing the work itself doesn't work in the long run.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of HR people saying, I have an open door policy.
Yeah,
My
that's
door
what
is
it is.
exactly. My door is always open. Come and tell me. And then once or twice you've confided in this person, and it has worked against you. In fact, people have so many, and I feel like those videos go viral because people have so many terrible experiences. So for HR to truly be your friend, HR has to show workings. When they say show workings, once, not just once or twice. Let people see that you have their back. That is not just by mouth. For them to actually say that you're friends. I would not advise you, to be honest, to go and confide in
HR.
An HR professional that wants you to confide in them has to build that trust. Just like in a relationship, a man will meet you today and say, Funa, confide in me. I love you. You'll be like, oh, God, didn't we just meet
You have to
yesterday?
earn it.
Exactly. You have to earn it. So if you want people to trust you, they also have to earn your trust.
Exactly. I agree with that, Jay. I have a story, like I said.
Okay.
The After 5 Diaries.
Ada joins a mid-sized consulting firm that promises work-life balance, hybrid hours, and paid overtime. From week 1, it's chaos, late meetings till 9 p.m., no overtime pay, no support. When she asks HR, they tell her to be grateful for exposure. Her manager sends urgent messages close to midnight. When she doesn't reply once, HR calls her in, not to address the boundary issue, but to say she lacks passion. In 2 months, Ada asks for 1 day off to attend her father's medical appointment. HR suggests she postpone family matters. She goes anyway. When she returns, her work access is quietly cut. That evening, HR fires her for cultural misalignment and being not resilient enough. No performance review, no warnings, no compensation for overtime. Then they pressure her to sign an NDA, threatening to delay her final salary if she refuses. She signs, and 2 weeks later, the company posts a new role: young, energetic, flexible, able to work under pressure. That's the story. So let's talk about this HR, for instance. Ada and her experience with the company. I know there are so many similar stories. Things happen in the corporate world. And that's one of the things that fueled this podcast, the After 5 Diaries. I feel like we don't talk about 9 to 5 enough. And there are so many things going on in offices that we need to tell the world and for people to be seen and people to know what goes on. So this story about Ada and her HR. Are there HR human resources, like personnel like this?
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that is why people relate so much to the stories and the content and the skits, and podcasts like this are definitely important. There are definitely human resource people like that. You can't, someone cannot ask you for a day off to, if it's somebody that does it consistently, then you know this person is not serious.
Exactly.
Of which you send a warning. I don't think that you just fire people off. You guys, like you said, performance review. Let's have a conversation. This is what we think you're doing. I don't think you're aligning. We're going to place you on probation to be sure that you're definitely a fit. We really want you to be here, but you have to put in the work to be here. You can be empathetic and still be stern. I'm not telling HR people that become a footmat. People
Yeah.
step on
People
you
step
and
on
insult
you.
you. You can be stern.
Mm-hmm.
You can be stern, but still show empathy and still be kind and know how to close your mouth when it's not necessary to speak. So there are definitely human resource personnel like that everywhere in the world that will say you're not resilient enough, you're not serious enough. And my question is, what is the remuneration? How much are they even paying you
For that job, for you
for
to take all
for
that.
that job? A lot of people that work in Lagos today, spend most of their money, a huge chunk, on transportation. Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's why I remember when I was on radio sometime last year, 2 years ago, I said one thing COVID taught us is that people don't always have to be in the offices. But Nigeria, we love office.
Yeah.
And some people also love to wear, they want to wear their corporate outfits at
With
the
their
shop.
shoes, their
But
hair.
when you consider what you're paying people, and you know that the company cannot afford to pay them more, create an hybrid system. Like I said, if people are comfortable to an extent, they will put that comfort into your work because they know that you actually genuinely care about them.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say to that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Do you think that a company can function without HR, a HR system? Like maybe a company. Do you have a HR in your company? Like
No,
what
it's
you
just
run?
it's very
It's just
it's
you.
just small, yeah.
So do you think like a reputable company and can function without HR? I do have a tweet from someone. I'm going to be reading quotes. There are so many quotes about HR in different platforms. HR is the only department that gets a free pass for being completely useless. This is a tweet. I don't want to call the name of the person who tweeted this. They produce zero revenue, kill morale with endless policies, protect the company, not you, and sometimes still get invited to every meeting with like they are essential. Remove 90% of HR tomorrow and the business will run smoother, faster, and happier. Do you agree with this concept?
I mean, like I said, is what HR people have brought up on their save. But you definitely need HR. Somebody also tweeted something about Maven
Mm-hmm.
and said something about Maven. That after the person mentioned, I think Paystack, and then said, "Oh, Paystack and Maven, it's as if they're just flexing in that company." That is the job of human resources. Human resources, your job is to build the culture
Yeah.
of a company.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And that's why, online, Maven Records, that's on Jazzy, you go online, you still see, I think Friends of Maven or something like that. They have an entire page where they post their selves, they post what they do, their hangouts and all of that. And people want to work there. Not because they want to meet Arasta and Rema, of which that is fun. But the culture shows that this is a company that genuinely cares for the staff.
Yeah.
And that happens because of, HR.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that there's HR in a company and morale is low. That HR should be fired.
Exactly.
If morale is low in a company, that is because of the human resource person is not doing their job. So the person should not be there because your job is to always get the team up. When you work in the army, for example, I mean, based on the army movies I've watched, there are people that their job is to sing those songs, boost your morale. You understand? In training, there are some people, the commanding officers, their job is to get you into that head space.
Yeah.
When you watch what's it called? A lot of these epic movies, maybe the Roman or whatever, when they are going for war,
Yeah.
the leader comes out and gives a nice speech, and then you see people that were feeble and weak, they stand up, they are ready to go to war. HR is supposed to do that. HR is supposed to care for the people. meet the boss and say, oh, this person is doing a fantastic job. I think there should be some trainings
Yeah.
to start up the year. HR can also recommend leadership courses for the bosses.
Exactly.
Do you understand? It's tact. Some people say, hey, Jay, you done the overdo am. But that is the truth. I'm not saying to say, oh, guy, you are a bad boss. You need leadership course. That's not what it is. You can't, obviously, that's that pays your salary. But going to recommend to say, sir, your leadership this past year was fantastic. I love that you handled this. Even though you are trying to get the person to be better and all that. I've done some research. There are some leadership courses that I think, would help you handle the team better as we're expanding. They will listen to you because you cannot build your team without also building the leadership. And it's also the job of human resources to also help the leaders lead properly. You have companies where CEOs shout at staff. You have companies where CEOs use the F words and swear words, and they just say, no, it's a Gen Z company. We're all young. Yeah. My sister, my brother. No, it's not about Gen Z or Alpha Z or whatever Z. So that is the job of human resources to ensure that people are better. Mental health is also important. That is the job of human resources to ensure people are mentally there. So it's not just about policies. Oh, don't use the tissue paper there. Oh, don't wear shoe in the company. You are always giving laws, but nothing about empathy, nothing about taking care of yourself, your mental health, nothing about taking sick days off. HR is supposed to be so involved. When a staff has overworked. And then you recommend that, this person has really worked. We had a project and this person was here literally almost every day. I recommend that this person should be given a few days off to recover. That is the job of human resources.
Empathy.
That's the job, yeah.
Empathy. There was something that tweet said, HR should protect the company, not you. So I really want to ask is, okay, let's use me as an example, like you, not protect you. I'm a staff of a company. Are you not meant to protect me? I'm part of the company and all of that. You're meant to protect me.
That's it.
A situation where a subordinate in a company comes to you and says, oh, this is what my boss is doing to me. This is what my line manager is doing to me. He or she's a bully and all of that. And I need you as HR to intervene, do something about it. And then you go behind me, you call whoever that reported to you. Like you're on the part of the person that reported and not on my part. You're not doing anything to defend me and all of that. On whose side is HR supposed to be on? The staff or the company or whoever that reported? I don't know if you get my drift.
Yeah, HR is supposed to be on the Lord's side. He's on the Lord's side. That's where HR is supposed to be. Your job is to investigate situations like that.
Yeah.
You don't pick a side. You're supposed to investigate. Obviously people have lied about their supervisors, but people have a lot of time is also the truth. So your job as HR is to say, thank you so much for feeling confident enough to bring this to me. If there are any other issues, please ensure that, you come to me. We're going to take this, we're going to do our internal investigation, and we're definitely going to get back to you. That's the job. And then you go back, and I didn't go to school for human resources. I'm sure there are ways around it. Emotional intelligence, how to do your investigations, find out if, go and see them working, go through their emails, there are ways you can investigate to know if this person is genuinely bullying this person. And then you call it out and find ways to fix it. Yeah, that's it.
Do you think HR in companies should work as therapists, if I have to put it in that way?
No.
Should they be?
No. You're not a therapist. For you to be a therapist, you go to school.
Yeah.
It's an actual job, just like human resources. But I think that to an extent, you have to be an open book. You have to be a place where people can come and share. If your company can afford it, why can't you employ
someone
who is a therapist? That is the job of HR to recommend in this day and age of mental health, especially when you work in a sector that is so gruesome, that requires a lot. For example, I personally think that people that work in the medical sector should have access to therapy. If you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you see people die every day, you see blood every day, I think that you need therapy. When you watch a lot of these Western movies and you see maybe a police officer went you to a place and then they shot the person or the person was hit and all of that, they will still ask you to speak to a therapist. And they often say, oh, I don't need therapy. They want to be sure that you're in the right headspace to still continue your work, because your work is a work of life and death. So one thing I recommend is that if you're hospitals should have therapists. Even though people will argue now that they have not even paying them salary first. It's not therapy you're asking
That
for.
you
But
want to come and pay.
exactly, but these are the things. If you want to get the best out of people, you need to treat them like they're important
Yeah.
in the scheme of things. Yeah.
Treat them like they're important. I have a story to read on that.
Okay.
HR is not entirely bad. It's looking at
HR is not
me
bad, you
now.
know, and I feel like that's why I'm having this conversation to show you
Yeah.
that there are people that are good,
Yeah.
and if you are in that space, you can be better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have the story. Kule joins a fire tech logistics company in Yaba.
Mm-hmm.
From boarding, HR stands out. They explain policies in plain English and clearly says their door is open if anything feels off.
That is always open.
Their door. 3 months in, the team is stretched thin. Kunle starts staying late to keep things running. Instead of waiting for burnout, HR notices his long hours and checking. Calmly, not accusingly. Kunle explains the workload. HR listens and acts. They add temporary help and enforce proper shift rotation. Then Kunle's mom falls ill. HR responds immediately, granting compassionate leave with no guilt or drama. When he returns, they check in on him, not just his output. At performance reviews, HR looks beyond KPIs. They acknowledge his growth and suggest future team lead training. No pressures, no false promises. By year end, Kunle isn't exhausted or bitter, he's growing. And when they asked why he's still in 9 to 5 after so many years, his answer is simple. My HR department remembers I'm human.
That's beautiful.
There are HR like that.
Yes.
There are human resources like that. You know, most people spend long years in companies and you wonder why they are not leaving because work culture is beautiful, work culture, staff welfare is important, and that's as a result of the kind of human resources they have.
Yeah.
So they're not entirely bad.
I agree. I agree. They're not entirely bad. And that's why we're having conversations like this, as I said before. They're not entirely bad. And for the ones that are bad, you can turn a new leaf.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you see online, people share, oh, I was with this company for 5 years and I feel sad I'm leaving. People share those stories on X, formerly known as Twitter, and it's beautiful to see. And you're open to sharing those kind of stories because, you know, you enjoyed your time there. You did the work, the culture was great, you know, and, you know, you feel sad that you're leaving. And so you are telling the world that I was here and I'm leaving. And that kind of culture, again, is built by human resources. So we celebrate and appreciate people
The
that
good
are
ones.
the good ones, you know, and we hope that you can speak to your other colleagues, you know, to be good.
Yeah, you can't. So I want us to like wrap up with this. Like, I want you to tell me that character that 9 to 5 has displayed that deserves an Oscar. You know, 9 to 5, most of them are dramatic. You know, all those characters like, you know, coming in late. The one I told you that I loved, one of the skits that you put out there. One of those characters that deserves an award for drama.
One of the characters that deserves an award for drama, I think, when they know they want a day off, maybe Monday, so they start planning the sickness. Just as someone just enters and just carrying the face up and down, wants everybody to notice them, you know, so that when you hear the person is not coming on Monday or Tuesday, it's true.
He was sick
He was
yesterday. We
sick,
saw signs.
running stomach, and the person was coughing and all of that. You don't plan now. So I think that everybody in 9 to 5, if they say they don't do 9 to 5 and they want to become actors, Nollywood will take you. Even Hollywood will take you. You know, they start planning, that one till tomorrow. It kills me. Till tomorrow. That's sickness. You prepare just all over the place. Why are you coughing? You want people to, and that's the thing. If you notice, it's always they cough or they put their head on the table. Or even though the person likes to gist, but the person doesn't get involved in gist that day. Person just, what's happening? Hey, what's going on? I just don't know how I'm feeling. They don't say I'm not feeling too well. That's too on the nose. I don't know how I'm feeling. You understand? So that you don't exactly.
Interesting. You just know us too well. You're just really exposing us. All right, Jay, thank you so much. I want you to advise someone who is coming into 9 to 5 on how to navigate HR. Maybe a fresher from school, NYC. Just advise someone who wants to get a corporate job. How to navigate 9 to 5 generally and HR in particular.
I think navigating it is coming with wisdom, and it's great that you're watching this podcast. Definitely coming with wisdom and know that I'm not saying enter into a company with all your guards up and saying HR is my enemy and all of that, but you have to be wise. You know, in fact, not just with HR. If you work in a corporate sector, you are, even though I encourage friendships and relationships and whatever, but it's work. You're not going there to go and start spilling all your family secrets. And that's why it's crazy to me when you come to the place you are making your bread. You are coming there to talk about your wife at home, your father at home. You are coming to drop all the gist. Don't forget that it's still office, so it is still work. And that can be used against you, in a meeting, and sometimes subconsciously. So as much as you're open, you're friendly, you have to be wise, especially with your mouth. It's not everything you share. It is not every conversation you get involved in. People cannot quote you when you say, exactly. So that's why when you bring gist to me, I just, yeah. When you say, what did Jay say? You cannot say Jay said, yeah. Jay said, So I think you need to be wise in that, and the sky is your starting point. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. I also want you to advise HR.
Yeah.
The good ones, the bad ones. I want you to talk to them. This is a platform.
Yeah.
I want people in corporate and people in human resources to know that just
yeah. I think for the good ones, thank you, keep on doing it. For the bad ones, don't keep on doing it. But also go for trainings. I think sometimes Nigeria is a very peculiar place, and I think people watch videos and say, "You don't know Nigeria stuff." You have to use iron for iron, and like I said before, you can be stern but still have empathy.
Yeah.
But people will always be wicked. People will always be rude. People will always be whatever. But that does not mean that you should get out of character for everybody at the end of the day. So I think that if you work in human resources, you should go for trainings. You should go and watch things on YouTube. You should go and learn.
Yeah.
You see people always talking about the work culture in this company or that company. Why can't you learn? Reach out to the human resource person in that company.
Yeah.
I heard about this. What are you doing differently? What secrets can you tell me to help me go better and to help our company grow and improve? Go for HR conferences, not just to connect, but also to learn. From people. Watch podcasts like this.
Yeah.
Where you learn, where they call you out, and then you see yourself, and then you want to do better at the end of the day. So that's my word.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
Joseph.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, and to everybody listening, those in 9 to 5, I want you to know that you go to HR for policies. HR is your therapist. Go and meet a real therapist for therapy. Okay, and if you're a HR person, you're watching this is a feedback. It's not an attack in any manner whatsoever. Thank you guys for listening to the After 5 Diaries and watching the After 5 Diaries today. Jay, any last words?
Thank you for having me. I know it was hectic getting here.
I know.
But I'm here. So thank you so much for having me, of course.
Thank you for being here with us. Thank you. And to everyone watching, don't forget to subscribe at the After 5 Diaries on YouTube at the After 5 Diaries. Follow us on Instagram at the After 5 Diaries Pod. We are on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are on TikTok as well at the After 5 Diaries. Thank you guys so much for watching. Till next time, keep being good at work. Take care. Bye. Bye.
This is where 9 to 5 ends and real talk begins. The After 5 Diaries.